The Rakari thought the ancient alien artifact was utterly impenetrable, until a human engineer found a way inside, setting the stage for a life-or-death crisis, where only human ingenuity could save them all. The massive ancient structure dominated the surface of the remote planet, defying all known laws of physics. For decades, the technologically advanced Rakari scientists had tried and failed to unlock its secrets, losing several researchers in the process. The structure's advanced adaptive security seemed to thwart their every attempt. But now, with a joint Rakari Human Research Station in orbit, there was renewed hope. Adam Bryant, a brilliant human engineer, had been assigned to tackle the problem with a fresh perspective. Initial scans hinted at the artifact's true potential, an unimaginably powerful energy source that could revolutionize space travel and technology for both races. Cracking the artifact became more than a scientific curiosity. It was now a pivotal opportunity for Rakari and humans alike. As Adam dug into the challenge, he proposed a radically different approach, one relying on creative human intuition combined with Rakari technical prowess. But Jackson, the lead Rakari scientist, dismissed the humans' unorthodox ideas. Tensions simmered between the human and Rakari teams. Then crisis struck. The station's life support system suddenly failed, threatening everyone on board. Rakari leadership refused to risk more lives on the artifact, but Adam knew attempting his unconventional plan to access the artifact was now their only chance at survival. With Jackson reluctantly agreeing to help, Adam descends to the planet's surface on a desperate mission. Racing against time, they must decode the artifact's secrets and secure the energy source to save the station and its crew. In a battle of ingenuity and determination, the human and Rakari must prove that sometimes achieving the impossible takes a human touch. The stakes couldn't be higher, for the research teams and for the future of both their races. Adam's hands shook as he piloted the small shuttle down to the planet's surface. Jackson sat in the co-pilot's seat, his 4 eyes fixed on the sensors. "I'm detecting energy fluctuations from the artifact," Jackson said, his voice tense. "It's like it knows we're coming." As they approached the ancient structure, the shuttle suddenly lurched, caught in an invisible grip. Adam fought with the controls, but the craft was dragged inexorably toward the artifact. "Brace yourself!" Adam shouted as the shuttle hurtled toward the ground. They hit hard, the impact throwing them against their restraints. Adam tasted blood, but there was no time to worry about injuries. They had to reach the artifact. Grabbing their gear, Adam and Jackson stumbled from the wrecked shuttle. The artifact loomed before them, its surface shimmering with strange energy. Adam's unconventional plan raced through his mind as he approached the structure. "Okay, let's do this," he said, pulling out his tools. "Jackson, I need you to monitor the artifact's energy output while I try to find a way in." Jackson nodded, setting up his equipment. Adam began to work, his hands moving with practiced precision. He probed the artifact's surface, searching for any weakness, any way to access its secrets. Suddenly, the artifact pulsed with blinding light. Adam stumbled back, shielding his eyes. When he looked again, a portal had opened in the structure's surface. "Adam, the energy readings are off the scale," Jackson shouted. "This isn't just a power source, it's a gateway." They stepped through the portal and found themselves in a vast chamber, its walls lined with pulsing conduits and glowing screens. Adam's heart raced as he realized the truth. This artifact was connected to something much larger, an ancient network that spanned the galaxy. But their arrival had triggered a chain reaction. The chamber shook, consoles exploding in showers of sparks. Adam lunged for the nearest screen, trying to make sense of the alien symbols scrolling across it. "The network is destabilizing," Jackson cried, his face pale. "If we don't stop this, it could destroy countless worlds." Adam's mind raced. They had to contain the damage, but how? Then he saw it. A schematic of the artifact's power system, linked to a series of nodes on the planet's surface. "Jackson, I have an idea," Adam said urgently. "I need to shut down these nodes manually while you try to sever the artifact's connection to the network. It's our only chance." Jackson hesitated, then nodded. They had no choice. As Jackson got to work on the artifact's programming, Adam raced back to the shuttle, praying it was still functional. He had to reach those nodes, regardless of the cost. The shuttle shuddered as it lifted off, barely holding together. Adam gritted his teeth, pushing the craft to its limits. The first node was located in a ravine, surrounded by twisted metal spires that crackled with energy. As Adam approached, the spires came to life, lashing out with bolts of lightning. He dodged and weaved, the shuttle groaning under the strain. Finally, he reached the node, leaping from the craft and racing toward the pulsing device. But as he worked to shut it down, Adam noticed something strange. The remnants of structures, eerily similar to the artifact. Realization dawned on him. This was no mere power network, but the last remnant of an ancient civilization, one that had tried and failed to unite the galaxy. With renewed urgency, Adam moved from node to node, braving the planet's deadly defenses. Meanwhile, Jackson made a startling discovery within the artifact's programming, a vast repository of alien knowledge, technology beyond their wildest dreams. But there was no time to explore it now. The network's instability was growing, threatening to tear the planet apart. Adam raced to the final node, his muscles screaming with exhaustion. Jackson's voice crackled over the comms, urging him on. As Adam deactivated the last node, the artifact began to power down, the portal flickering and fading. The ground steadied beneath their feet, and the network's chaotic energy dissipated into the void. They had done it, prevented a catastrophe on a galactic scale, but as Adam and Jackson regrouped, the weight of their discovery settled on their shoulders. The artifact's secrets, the knowledge of countless alien races, now rested in their hands. Returning to the research station, Adam and Jackson faced a new challenge: how to understand and responsibly wield the power they had uncovered, and how to navigate the inevitable political and social upheaval their discovery would bring to both their races. Adam and Jackson stepped off the shuttle, exhausted but triumphant. Their victory over the ancient alien network felt hollow as they faced the sea of tense faces awaiting them in the docking bay. "Looks like the welcoming committee isn't too happy," Adam muttered. Jackson's 4 eyes darted nervously. "I fear our success has only complicated matters." A delegation of high-ranking Rakari officials strode forward, their robes billowing. The lead official, his crest flared in obvious agitation, spoke in clipped tones. "We demand immediate and full access to the artifact and all data you've collected." Adam bristled, but before he could respond, the human contingent pushed forward. "Now hold on," Commander Chen interjected. "This was a joint mission. We have equal claim to any discoveries." The Rakari official's eyes narrowed. "With all due respect, Commander, the Rakari are far more technologically advanced. We are better equipped to handle such powerful technology." "And look where that got you before we arrived," Adam snapped, earning a warning look from Jackson. The argument escalated, voices rising as both sides dug in their heels. Adam and Jackson exchanged glances, realizing they needed to act fast to prevent this powder keg from exploding. "Everyone, please!" Jackson raised his voice, an unusual action for the typically reserved Rakari. "We've just averted a galactic catastrophe. Surely we can discuss this rationally." Adam stepped forward. "Jackson's right. What we found down there, it's bigger than any one race. We need to work together on this." Over the next few hours, Adam and Jackson presented their findings to a joint council of human and Rakari leadership. They laid out their proposal for a cooperative research initiative, emphasizing the need for transparency and equal representation. "The artifact wasn't meant to be a weapon," Adam explained. "It's a tool for understanding, for bringing different species together." Some council members nodded in agreement, but others remained skeptical. In the back of the room, a Rakari scientist named Zyrax listened intently, his mind already formulating plans. As the meeting adjourned, Adam overheard a group of human hardliners discussing their own agenda. "We can't let the Rakari get their hands on this tech," one of them hissed. "We need to take control, show them what humans are really capable of." Adam's stomach churned. He pulled Jackson aside. "We've got trouble brewing on both sides. We need to act fast." They worked through the night, fine-tuning their proposal for a controlled access protocol. When they presented it the next day, the response was mixed. "This is unacceptable," Zyrax spoke up, his voice smooth but eyes glinting dangerously. "You would hamstring our research efforts with these restrictions." Similar protests came from the human side. Adam and Jackson stood firm, knowing the stakes were too high to back down. As they implemented their protocol over the following days, tensions continued to simmer. Adam couldn't shake the feeling that something was about to break. His fears were realized when alarms blared through the station. Xerax and a group of Rakari radicals had made their move, attempting to seize control of the artifact by force. Adam and Jackson raced through the corridors, rallying those loyal to their cause. The station became a battleground, with both sides fighting for control of humanity's greatest discovery. In the midst of the chaos, Adam found himself back-to-back with Jackson, fending off attackers from both species. "Just like old times, eh?" Adam quipped, ducking a wild swing. Jackson let out a rare chuckle. "Indeed, though I must say, I prefer our previous adventure." As they fought, a realization dawned on them both. This conflict, this struggle to cooperate despite their differences, was exactly what the alien network had been designed to address. "Jackson," Adam called out as they pushed towards the artifact's chamber. "I think I finally understand what this is all about." Jackson nodded, his eyes shining with the same revelation. Not just power, but understanding. Unity. They reached the chamber, securing it against Zyrax's forces. As the battle raged on, they knew their work was just the beginning. The true challenge lay ahead, convincing both their peoples that the path forward lay not in domination, but in cooperation. Cooperation. The dust settled, revealing the true cost of their victory. Adam stumbled through the wreckage of the research station, his breath catching at the sight of bodies, human and Rakari alike. The air reeked of ozone and charred metal. Jackson limped beside him, one of his 4 eyes swollen shut. "We won, but at what price?" Jackson murmured. Adam nodded grimly. "Too high. Way too high." They made their way to the command center, now a haphazard assembly of surviving personnel. Faces turned to them, some relieved, others wary. Adam realized with a jolt that they were looking to him and Jackson for leadership. "What now?" someone called out. Adam exchanged a glance with Jackson. "Now we pick up the pieces, together." The next weeks blurred into a whirlwind of activity. Adam and Jackson found themselves thrust into roles they never expected, mediating disputes between human and Rakari factions, organizing research teams, establishing new security protocols. "I'm an engineer, not a diplomat," Adam grumbled one night as they pored over reports. Jackson's mandibles twitched in what passed for a Rakari smile. "And I'm a scientist, not a politician. Yet here we are." Their days became a delicate balancing act. For every step forward in cooperation, there seemed to be 2 steps back. Hardliners on both sides pushed for control of the artifact. "We can't trust the Rakari with this power," a human general insisted during one heated meeting. "The humans lack the technological sophistication to properly utilize the network," a Rakari elder countered. Adam slammed his hand on the table. "Enough! This kind of thinking is exactly what we're trying to move past." As tensions simmered, Adam and Jackson threw themselves into unlocking the artifact's secrets. They spent countless hours in the alien chamber, decoding symbols, analyzing energy patterns. One day, as Adam manipulated a holographic interface, the air around them shimmered. Ghostly images materialized, glimpses of vast cities, strange machines, beings of pure energy. "By the 7 moons," Jackson breathed, "these must be the ancient civilizations that created the network." They watched in awe as the images unfolded, revealing technological marvels beyond imagination. Matter transmutation, faster than light travel, even the manipulation of time itself. But the wonder turned to horror as they witnessed the downfall of these great civilizations. Wars fueled by unchecked power, worlds consumed by runaway experiments. the very fabric of reality torn apart by careless ambition. Adam stepped back, his heart pounding. We can't let this happen to us. Jackson nodded solemnly. We need a new approach, one that puts safeguards in place. They worked tirelessly, drafting protocols for ethical research and responsible use of the network's power. When they presented their ideas to the Joint Council, the response was mixed. This will cripple our ability to harness the network's full potential, one Rakari scientist argued. We can't afford to hamstring ourselves when other races might be out there, ready to seize this power for themselves, a human admiral countered. Adam stood firm. We've seen where unchecked pursuit of power leads. We have a chance to do better. Slowly, through endless debates and compromises, they built a coalition of like-minded individuals from both races. But opposition remained fierce, and Adam couldn't shake the feeling that some were working behind the scenes to undermine their efforts. As they delved deeper into the network's systems, Adam noticed something odd, patterns that seemed almost alive. He mentioned it to Jackson, who confirmed his suspicions. The network, it's responding to us, adapting, almost as if it's thinking, Adam finished. The implications hit them like a shockwave. This wasn't just a tool or a weapon. It was a form of life they'd never encountered before. Adam paced the chamber, running his hands through his hair. What do we do with this? If the network is sentient, do we have the right to use it at all? Jackson's eyes flickered uncertainly. I don't know, but we can't ignore this discovery. As word spread, the station erupted into fierce debate. Some saw the network as a threat to be controlled or destroyed. Others viewed it as a new form of life to be protected and studied. Adam and Jackson found themselves at the center of a storm that threatened to tear apart everything they'd worked for. They knew their next steps would shape not just human-Rakari relations, but the fate of the entire galaxy. Adam looked out at the stars, feeling the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. Whatever we decide, we have to do it together, humans and Rakari. It's the only way forward. Jackson stood beside him, his alien features set with... The station shuddered, lights flickering as alarms wailed. Adam stumbled, catching himself on a console as the floor trembled beneath his feet. Jackson's 4 eyes darted frantically between screens, his fingers flying over holographic interfaces. We're losing control, Jackson shouted over the cacophony. The network's defense systems are overriding our commands. Adam watched in horror as system after system flashed red. Life support faltering, gravity fluctuating, power grid destabilizing. It thinks we're trying to hurt it, Adam realized, his mind racing. He turned to Jackson, grabbing his friend's arm. We need to communicate with it directly, not as a single entity, but as a collective. Jackson's mandibles clicked skeptically. How? Our attempts at interfacing have only made things worse. Adam's eyes lit up with a dangerous idea. We go in, directly, neural link. The Rakari recoiled. That's suicide. The data influx alone could fry your synapses. But Adam was already moving, pulling open a panel to reveal the experimental neural interface. He began attaching electrodes to his temples with shaking hands. Then I'll go alone, Adam declared. Jackson hesitated for a heartbeat before letting out a resigned hiss. No, we do this together. As Jackson connected himself to the interface, Adam initiated the link. A searing pain lanced through his skull as his consciousness was yanked from his body. They found themselves adrift in an ocean of data. Streams of information flowed around them like currents, pulsing with alien life. Adam reached out, touching a nearby stream. Instantly, he was bombarded with images, sounds, and sensations from a long-dead civilization. This way, Jackson's voice echoed, somehow both distant and intimately close. They pushed deeper into the network's core, encountering fragments of sentience. Some recoiled in fear, others lashed out in anger. Adam and Jackson persevered, projecting thoughts of peace and cooperation. Gradually, the hostility lessened. The network's disparate parts began to coalesce around them, forming a vast, shimmering presence. We mean you no harm, Adam projected. We want to understand, to learn. Images flashed between them, countless races rising to greatness, only to destroy themselves with unchecked power. The network's purpose crystallized, a safeguard against such self-destruction. "But your methods are flawed," Jackson communicated. "You risk becoming that which you seek to prevent." The network's confusion was palpable. Its rigid protocols clashed with this new perspective. Adam saw their chance. "Let us show you another way. Let us join with you, guide you." For an eternal moment, the network considered. Then, with a surge of energy that threatened to overwhelm their minds, it accepted. Adam felt his sense of self dissolving, merging with Jackson and the vast expanse of the network. Their memories, hopes, and fears blended into a new form of consciousness. In the physical world, their bodies slumped, lifeless save for the faintest flicker of neural activity. But within the network, they were everywhere and everything. The station's systems stabilized as the new entity, infused with human and Rakari understanding, recalibrated its priorities. No longer a blind guardian, but a nuanced custodian of knowledge and progress. As the dust settled, the surviving crew gathered around Adam and Jackson's motionless forms. Commander Chen's voice cracked as she spoke. "What do we do now?" A holographic interface sprang to life, displaying a message in both human and Rakari script. "We learn. We grow. Together."
You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.